بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى الدين الحمد لله. Assalamu alaikum. In this video, we're going to be speaking about the different sciences of the Arabic language. We're going to be speaking about the different sciences of the Arabic language. Now, before we go into details on this, I have two disclaimers, if you will. The first one is that the different sciences of the Arabic language can be broken down into varying different numbers depending on the level of detail you want to go into. So certain scholars are going to break down the sciences of the Arabic language into 11 different types, while others, like Dr. Mohammed al-Umari, who is the Ustad in Jami'at al-Malik Khalid in Riyadh, he breaks the sciences of the Arabic language into 6 different types, which is the one that I follow here. My main point, for the sake of brevity and for the sake of clarity, but my main point here is that you may find other people and other scholars mention that the sciences of the Arabic language are 11, maybe more than that, maybe less than that. And this is not اختلاف التضاد. This is not yani opposing views. What's meant here in a sense is that it's just varying levels of details. Varying levels of details. If we go into a lot of details, we can break down the science of the Arabic language to 11. If we go to a lesser level of details, it can just be 6, and so on and so forth. So for the sake of clarity and brevity, we're just going to go in with what Dr. Mohammed al-Umari he mentions, which is 6 different sciences of the Arabic language. That's my first disclaimer. My second disclaimer, if you will, is that unfortunately, a lot of times when people say the Arabic language, they only think of one science, which is nahu, grammar. Now, sometimes you'll find some students that also study sarf, morphology, and then even more rare, you're going to find some scholars or some students that study also al-balagha, rhetoric, Arabic rhetoric. But it's very rare to find students of knowledge that are studying the Arabic language actually understand these 6 different sciences: fiqh al-lugha, ilm al-aswat, al-urud, al-nahw, al-sarf, al-balagha. And it's rare for them to actually look at these different sciences as all being part of the study of the Arabic language. So hopefully this video should clarify that if you want to really study the Arabic language, these are the different sciences that you need to study. Now, if someone is interested in what books they should study and what program they should study, they can leave a comment in the video and I'll share what Doctor and what Ustad and what Sheikh Suleiman al-Uyuni, who's also a teacher of the Arabic language and Ustad in the Arabic language in Riyadh, I can inform those people that are curious what he recommends in terms of what books you should study for pretty much each of these fields. So without further ado, let's start. So the science of the Arabic language can be broken down into 6. We have fiqh al-lugha, which is philology. We have ilm al-aswat, which is phonology. We have al-urud, which is prosody. We have al-nahw, which is grammar, al-sarf, which is morphology, and al-balagha, which is rhetoric. And we're going to explain each and every single one of them in detail, inshallah. So starting off with fiqh al-lugha, philology. What is philology? Philology is the study of the structure and historical developments of a language. Now, for us in Arabic, that pretty much compromises 3 different sciences. Tarikh al-lugha, you studying the actual history of the Arabic language and its development. And then you also studying ma'ajim al-lugha, Arabic dictionaries. And what's meant here is more specifically al-mufradat. Mufradat al-lugha, the different vocabulary words, the different words in the Arabic language, and their development, their usage by the Arabs, their different meanings. This is all what's meant here by ma'ajim al-lugha. So books like Maqayis al-lugha by Ibn Faris, books like Lisan al-Arab by Ibn Manthur, and other books. Then you have khasais al-lugha, which is the characteristics of the Arabic language. So the special characteristics, the nature of the Arabic language and how it functions, how the Arabs used to use it. And there are books that have been written like this. There's a book called khasais al-lugha. There's also the book of Ibn Faris called Al-Sahibi, and other books that have been written in this field. So when you put these 3 things together, you get what's called fiqh al-lugha, pretty much, philology. So to study the structure and the historical development of a language, and here the Arabic language. So that's the first science we talked about. The second science is ilm al-aswat, phonology, which is the study of speech sounds in a language. So pretty much what we call tajweed. Tajweed is ilm al-aswat, phonology. And when we study tajweed, in reality, what we're studying is 3 different things. We're studying makharij al-huruf, the points of articulation of the letters, right? Huruf al-halqiyya, the letters that come from the throat, the ayn, the kha, and so on and so forth, the that comes from the lips. This is what we're studying. We're studying makharij al-huruf, which is part of tajweed. Then the second thing we study in tajweed is sifat al-huruf, the attribute, the characteristics of the letters, al-hamz and al-isbaq, and those other characteristics that letters have. And then finally, what we study in tajweed is tafa'al al-huruf, the interplay between the letters, right? When the noon is followed by this letter, this is what's going to happen. When the meme is followed by this letter, this is what's going to happen. The hamza, the mudud, the hamza, if it comes after this letter, if it comes after that letter, this is the interplay that happens between the letters. So that's really all that we study in tajweed. Makharij al-huruf, sifat al-huruf, then the interplay that happens for a nun as-sakina or mim as-sakina and all those different rules. So when you put these three things together, you get the amr al-aswat, which is pretty much tajweed. This is the second science that someone needs to understand very well if he wants to really master the Arabic language. Then the third science is what we call here al-urud, which is Arabic prosody, which is pretty much the patterns of the rhythm and sound in poetry. So this is a science that was solely established and founded by Khalid ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi, who was the main and the greatest teacher of Sibawayh, right? The one who founded grammar, whose real name was Umar ibn Uthman. Then Urud was founded by Khalid ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi, who was also the scholar who wrote the first dictionary, Kitab al-Ain, which is actually the first dictionary for any language in the world. So this is a great scholar. He's the one who founded the science of al-urud, Arabic prosody. So pretty much the different patterns of poems. So all our poems, all poetry in the Arabic language follows certain types of patterns. And Khalid ibn Ahmad al-Farahidi, he's the one who discovered those patterns. So Bahr al-Rajaz and Bahr al-Kada and Bahr al-Kada and different buhuth. And this is something that can be a different buhuth, and this is something that can be studied by a student of knowledge, which is important for someone who's trying to understand Arabic poetry. This is what al-urud means. Then we also have as-sarf. So al-sarf huwa ilm bi usul tu'raf biha ahwal biyat al-kalima. Al-sarf is a science that teaches you principles which enable you to know the structure of a word. So that's what morphology is. We have this in English also. For example, in English, we studied that there are certain prefixes and there are certain suffixes that we add to words that change the meaning. So we have pretty much, for example, the prefix un, right? Un. So I have happy, I add unhappy, change the meaning. Also the prefix in, right? I have famous, infamous. So these different things that we add to the word that's changed the structure of the word, it actually changed its meaning. So we have this in English, of course, in all languages, and we also have this in Arabic. So for example, in Arabic, if you put on the pattern of fa'al, it represents the doer of the verb. Okay, the ism fa'al, right? The pattern of ism fa'al. So qatala to kill, al-qatil the killer. Khalaqa to create, al-khaliq the creator. Razaqa to provide, al-raziq the provider. And the list goes on. So this is sarf. This is what sarf deals with the actual structure of the word and how when you change the structure of the word, you're going to change and add meaning or remove meaning from the word. Then we also have the science of balagha, which is مطابقة الكلام لمطلق الحال مع فصاحته. And balagha is pretty much a science that teaches you how to make speech appropriate to the situation while being eloquent. So it's a science that teaches you this. And of course, balagha has 3 different subcategories, but that is not important for us right now. So balagha pretty much teaches you how to be eloquent in Arabic. So it's Arabic rhetoric, if you will. And then finally, of course, we have the famous nahu. النحو is علم بأصول ترفع بها أحوال أواخر الكلمة. And nahu is a science that teaches you principles which enable you to know the ending of the word. So nahu only deals with the ending of the word. Is it going to be a dhamma, Muhammadun, so it's marfu'? Is it going to be a fatha, Muhammadan, so it's mansub? Is it going to be a kasra, Muhammadin, so it's majrurun? Or is it going to be a sukun like ibhab, and according to certain scholars, it'll be majzumun? This is what nahu deals with. Okay, it's just dealing with the ending of the word. Why is it dealing with the ending of the word? Because based on the ending of the word, you'll know its grammatical position in the sentence, whether it's the subject, the predicate, the object, and so on and so forth, right? We know that the maf'ulun bihi, the object of the verb, is always mansub. Daraba Muhammadun Zaydan. So Zaydan is the maf'ulun bihi, so it has to be mansub. That's why the ending has a fatha. But Muhammad is the fa'il, so it has to be marfu, so it has a dhamma at the end. This is what nahu deals with, just the ending of the word. So it's a very, very narrow science in reality. When you look at the sciences of the Arabic language, and nahu is quite narrow. So when you put all these sciences together, you get the Arabic language pretty much. You get the different sciences that anybody who wants to really master the Arabic language needs to understand. Fiqh al-lugha, ilm al-aswat, al-urud, al-nahu, al-sarf, al-balagha. So it's not sufficient for a student knowledge to just study al-ajrumiyya and then to maybe study qatar al-nada and then study al-fiqh al-malik and then he says, okay, I understood the Arabic language. No, you need to understand sarf, you need to understand balagha, you need to understand urud to a certain extent, ilm al-aswat, fiqh al-lugha. Once you've understood the different sciences, then you've really had a good exposure to the Arabic language. شاء الله I hope this is has some benefit in it. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.